What's going on, everybody? It's your boy PTK Blam back in the building with another episode of the Shop Podcast. Yes, we are back here. Another fire week, another fire guest. That goes without saying because that's what we do here on the Shop Podcast. Before I get into anything else, shout out to everybody watching this live. Shout out to the continued support here at the Shop Podcast. You guys are fucking amazing. Every single week, you guys bring it, show up, show out every single week. We appreciate the love and support. Once again, hit the like button, retweet the link, let everybody know the Shop Podcast is live. We are here, have an amazing guest. We got a lot to unpack, lot to cover, lot to talk about. So let's dive right the hell in. Before I get anything, hear ye, hear ye. We got to do this the right way. The Lord, protector, and savior is in the building. Shout out to you, Lord Cognito, hanging out with us once again, man. Go ahead and let everybody know. Everybody here should know who you are, but if they don't, let everybody know what's going on with you, who you are, where they can find you at, brother.
And we are live at the shop. What's going on, man? Blam, thanks for the invite once again. Absolute pleasure. You already know who it is. Lord Cognito, what's going on, man? Fuzzy, what's up? Stagger, what's up? Centurion, what's up? It's good to be back, man. Always have a good time with you, brothers. Always fun, informative, and we got stuff to talk about, man. A lot of stuff going on this week, man. So, yo, you know we had to do it again, Blam. Always fun when I get the invite.
Absolutely, man. Once again, appreciate you hanging out with us, taking a little bit of time to, leave the realm and come hang out in the shop. You know how it is.
You got to give me the fresh lineup, bro. Hook
me up. It's been rough for a lot of us. I got you, bro. Don't worry.
I got a pandemic hairline. Exactly. I got to get it corrected.
Got to get it cleaned up. But now you good to go, man. But once again, shout out to all the lords in the room as well. Everybody out there, King David, Addict, everybody that's part of ILP, man, doing the damn thing. Once again, blessing us with your presence, man. We appreciate everything you guys do, man. So let's go ahead and move on to my three compadres here, man. So let's start with you, Stag, man. How you been doing, brother? What you been up to? What you been playing, man?
Oh, man, I'm doing pretty good. Just glad to be here on Saturday night with the Lords and all that. And, man, I've been playing a little bit of everything, pushing for that million gamer score for the end of the month. So I can retire as a gamer score hunter and play things for fun again and, get to my PS4 and my PC games and the long games I have on the Xbox. But, man, just been streaming. Streams have been going really good and really hyped lately. So, yeah, just glad to be here.
Awesome, man. Once again, go support Stag, man. All the information is in the link in the descriptions below, as well as the ILP and COGS information. All of that's down there. If you support the shop, please go support my guys. Do me a favor. Super Chat is live as well. If you guys want to support in that way, we do greatly appreciate everything you guys do here for us at the shop. But once again, run the likes up if you support the show, as well as let everybody know. Retweet the link. Just pushing on here. And let's go ahead and move on to Centurion. How you been, brother? What you been playing? How your week been?
What is up, guys? And it is nice to see you once again, Mr. Cognito. And what have I been doing? I have been trying to play all the Barbie games and Lego games to catch up to Stagger and the gamer score, but I don't think I'm ever going to catch up to him.
You got to play the Neo Geos.
Once upon a time, I used to feel like I was like, the king of the crop. Like, yeah, that's right. I got some good gamer score going on. And then I became friends with Stagger, and I have never seen the number one spot since then.
Yeah. I'm that happened to me.
Number one spot on my own damn leaderboard, bro.
What?
All right. Well, appreciate you hanging out. Go ahead and finish up, man. My bad.
No, you're all good. I just love poking fun at Stagger. I just think it's cool that he goes after that. I wish I had that much time in the game. Speaking of not having enough time in the game, I got enough time to play the tutorial of Cyberpunk and actually mess around just a little bit with it. And that's, let me see what was else. Oh, yeah, but that's also because... Green. Huh?
You turned green. Envy.
No, actually, the funny part is I've been playing a lot of I was playing a lot of Yakuza Like a Dragon and
nice.
Oh my God, what's the other one?
So fun. That game's funny.
Oh my God, Code Vein.
Oh, nice. Okay,
nice.
Yeah, I never used to play games like Code Vein, and for some reason, all of a sudden, I feel like I got dropped in the middle of Asian gaming, and I can't put it down. And I'm like, I got Cyberpunk and Valhalla over here, and it's like. I'm gonna kick it over here for a little while. I'll go back to Western gaming here a little bit.
Bro, I feel you. So many games, man. So many games right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Glad to have you here in the shop, Centurion, as always, every single week. And last but not least, we're gonna smooth this thing out. We're gonna bring it all the way down, Cognito.
Woo.
So last but not least, Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere, man. Get your cognac, get your smoking jacket. Let's go, bro. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Fuzzy Belvedere here. Just been chilling for the most part. Touched a little bit of Cyberpunk. Still haven't really gotten past the tutorial because I'm taking it slow for the most
Me
part.
too. You overanalyze it, Fuzzy? You over?
Overanalyzing and then running out of free time to do as much gaming as I wanted this past week. But man, just so much stuff in the gaming world and the awards just recently. I'm not going to take up too much more time. Let's just get into it.
And once again, everybody, we live. So like I said before, retweet the link. Let everybody know we are live here in the Shop Podcast, man. Let's just dive right the hell in. So first things first, as we always do here at the Shop Podcast, poll of the week every single week on my Twitter account. If you do not know what that is, link in the description below. Go ahead and check us out there. We do this every Monday. Then we talk about it here on the Shop Podcast every Saturday. So poll of the week was pretty basic. I didn't want to do anything too complicated. I knew the VGAs was coming up, so I don't want to, get you guys all messed up. But poll of the week, which PS5 game are you most excited to play in 2021? And I did not include God of War Ragnarok, so don't kill me because I think that game's not coming out 2021. I think it's 2022 at the earliest. That's just my opinion, so I didn't put it on the list. Now, the three options were Final Fantasy 16, Ratchet and Clank, as well as Horizon Forbidden West. So we're going to start with the guest of the hour, you Cognito. Out of those three options, my guy, I know they bangers, all three of them. Which of the three you most excited for next year?
You said Horizon. Give me the three. Horizon.
Yeah. So Final Fantasy 16, Ratchet and Clank, and then Horizon Forbidden West.
I might have to go with Horizon. I'm just curious. Because I didn't expect it, to be honest. I didn't expect to turn around and be fast. So I'm curious to see what they could cook up, with that. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay, cool. All right, so let me just go ahead and get mine out the way. I'm Ratchet and Clank all the way. I still think at this particular point, it is the most impressive PS5 game that's been shown thus far, bar none, from a technical standpoint. Not that I give two shits. It just looked fun as well. So, but that's the one that that grabbed my attention more than anything that they've showed up to this particular point. So Ratchet and Clank for me, but I like your choice. I don't know, man. Horizon, I don't know. I think I'm gonna just take it slow with that game.
I'm in the same boat as you, Blam. I'm in the same boat. Like the first one didn't wow me like that. It didn't grab me, but at the same time, it's just like it surprised me. I'm like, really? I didn't think that the release cycle would be this fast for them to come back out. So I was surprised to see it. So
it is a bit of a short turnaround. And then the whole God of War thing threw me off when they said 2021 as well. But like I said, my inkling is that that's not 2021. That came out about a year and a half after Horizon Zero Dawn, the original God of War from last year. So I don't know. So anyway, let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Stag, man. Out of those options, man, where you at? You may have one that's not even on the list. I'm cool with that as well.
I'm like 2 weeks in a row where I didn't like your poll and didn't vote.
Oh my goodness! This is how you do me. This is how you do me.
Treason at the shop.
The truth is, I'm not excited about any of those games on that list.
That's fair.
The reality is, we know I play on PlayStation, but there isn't a single game I'm excited about on the PlayStation right now.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I'm actually more excited just to play my PS4 backlog of exclusives than I am anything else that PS5 may have to offer in the next year. There's nothing against Sony. There's just nothing on my radar right now that I'm like that I need to go get a PS5 to play.
Fair enough.
Fair point. You got plenty of
that's why I canceled my pre-order. I mean, shit, I got a fucking Series X. And I still haven't even hooked the motherfucker up.
Big facts. Yeah, he's still got
the box.
If you need someone to help get that off your heads,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't want that pre-order, man. We don't want to.
Like, you guys know I stream, and I was waiting for a certain part because I run everything optical, and the Series X or the whatever doesn't have optical, which
bro, I just went through that
thing to convert HDMI to optical, and I got that. And now I'm pushing for the million, and I'm lazy. Let's back to it all. Like I was gonna do it last weekend. Anyways, there's nothing that I'm super hyped about, and I'm gonna Chris is gonna call me a fraud, and that's okay.
Shout out to Chris. I don't even know if he made it in the chat.
I don't know. He'll go back and listen to the VOD and be like, "Oh, he talked about me again." No, I mean, like maybe something will come along that they haven't announced yet. But for right now, I I tried to get into Horizon
I feel you.
Zero Dawn, and it just wasn't working for me.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy's never been something I've been into.
That's fair. That's fair.
And Ratchet and Clank, it looks fantastic. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It doesn't have me excited. So
okay,
I'm the same way with that.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. All right, cool. Nothing wrong with that. Plenty of games to play. So there's no lack.
Sure, I got way too many games to fucking play right now, and I keep buying more.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and throw this whole thing over to you, Centurion. Get your opinion out of those three options. Doesn't have to be even on the list, my guy. Which one are you most anticipated for 2021 on PS5?
Oh man, obviously I want to say Horizon Forbidden West, just because I actually enjoyed the Horizon game, but there's a big but there. Any game that I know my wife will sit next to me and watch me play is going to be the winner in my book. So Ratchet is on my top list right there. And also, I'm going to be upfront. Compared to what I've seen, Horizon looks like Horizon. Now, Ratchet and Clank, that right there looks like Ratchet and Clank on another gen. I'm sorry. Even down to the little nuts and bolts that fly out of the enemies when you destroy them. I mean, like when you see the detail on them, and even, I hate to sound cheesy, but the ray tracing and the reflectiveness, and we're just these little objects just tossing out on the ground, and we collect them and we pay them no never mind. But when they're actually starting to put detail on that level, and then Ratchet actually has like hair to him, it doesn't look like some matted cartoon surface. I mean, I am totally amazed at just how far evolved Ratchet and Clank has, and it still stays true to form, but you can see how technology has changed just by looking at Ratchet and Clank from when it first came out to what we're going to get when it comes out with the new one.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. That's why it was my choice easy. I think that game, I mean, out of all the games on either system that we've seen so far, it's probably my top 2 or 3 as far as.
I'm always a sucker for a good platform.
Yeah, I mean, that thing blew me away when I saw it. So I'm like, yeah, this is definitely what I want. This is definitely what I want to see. So I'm in the same boat as you. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you. Last but not least, Mr. Fuzzy over there, man. Out of those options, or doesn't have to be on the list, which PS5 game you looking to for in 2021?
Yeah, I went with none of the above because of the list. I can't believe forgot Gran Turismo 7.
Listen.
Here we go.
I intentionally leave racing anything.
You already know.
Yeah, so you already know what it.
Yeah, for me being into racing games, Gran Turismo 7 is the one I'm really hoping for. Now, there's a little bit of, I guess, not really controversy, but a little bit of back and forth as far as when it's going to be released. Originally, it's supposed to be like a first quarter thing in 2021. Now it's midpoint 2021 or summer 2021. So hopefully it doesn't do like the traditional Gran Turismo deal and get postponed a few years. But as long as that comes out in 2021, that's the one I'm the most excited for. Hopefully it'll be a full car lineup, and from some of the early stuff that they showed, where you'll be able to go from different racing hubs to different tracks around the world and things like that. It should definitely be a big step up from this last gen with the Gran Turismo Sport. Even though that was fun, it's time for the full deal to come out. But yeah. And then when it comes to Horizon, I think it's too fast of a turnaround. Like, I remember the devs talking about the whole flying mechanic that they had to remove for the PS4 because it couldn't handle it. I'm wondering if we're going to get that flying mechanic in the Forbidden West. I mean, if we don't, then it's probably going to be a pass until they do a full from the ground up type of, Horizon. But let's hope it's not just like a continuation type of thing. I want them, hopefully in that amount of time, to be able to, add the mechanics that they had to delete because of the the last gen not being able to handle it type of thing.
Yeah, you've mentioned that too. I don't know if that's something that you thought about as well, Cog. Because I did see some. I mean, they had some underwater scenes in this new one as well. That looked interesting.
Yes.
I don't know if you knew about the flying mechanics that they took out of the previous one. So is that something that you think what you would look forward to or expect in this game and in the new one?
Absolutely. I think what excites me is that one thing you got to give credit to a lot of the Sony studios is that even if they say, even though Horizon Zero Dawn was received very well, its first initial, offering, I always feel like they really invest in their franchises and, you know, afford them sequels. So I'm curious because for that quicker turnaround, I'm wondering if they had so many things on the table that they want to now implement and with the power of PlayStation 5 be able to do a little bit better, even though I'm assuming I think that one is a cross-generational title.
Yeah.
But I am curious to see, you know, what was left on the cutting floor because clearly they have more to tell and more to include. So it's just, and it's funny because that game didn't move me the first one that much, but something about it being announced, I was just like, all right, I'm willing to give it a shot and see what you got cooking.
Okay, and it definitely there were some things in that in the footage and trailers that they did show that interest me. The characters growing, you know what I'm saying, the different factions that you see, different types of enemies as well. Like I said, that underwater really caught me. Hopefully, there's actually some underwater gameplay. I would assume based on the trailer that looks super dope. I'm all for underwater levels. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I'm all for underwater levels. But okay, so I'm on board with a lot of that list. Once again, guys, the Shop Podcast poll of the week every single week on Monday. Follow me on Twitter below, man. So let's go ahead and keep this thing moving to the next topic. So this was a huge topic. Outside of the VGAs, this was by far the biggest topic of the week. So we're going to be talking about a little bit of Cyberpunk 2077 and some of these review issues, man. Some of these things that have been going on with the game. We're going to start with you, Cognito. First, I just kind of want to get your firsthand experience, but also want to talk about the review issues and the people saying, I mean, this game has been all over the place. Some people giving it perfect scores, and it, you know, some people saying it clearly doesn't deserve that. They start comparing it to other games that are very similar, saying it's being reviewed completely differently. The strict NDAs that they placed because they had all these different issues. So kind of where you at with all of that, and then how did that affect your actual experience when you got to play the game?
Yeah, man, this was something that was very, very volatile this week. Let's just say, right?
Yeah,
so, I mean, obviously, you know, from what I understand, the embargo and stuff, and the PC version, from my understanding, went out first, and a lot of people were asking about, you know, what's up with the console version, why we're not hearing anything, and then obviously the reviews were glowing. You know, initially they were really high. And, you know, perfect scores, even though I think some people did say they experienced, you know, bugs and glitches. I also did hear that a lot of the reviewers that played them played it pre-patch. So that was that going on. And my only thing is this, like, you know, let's be real. Reviews are subjective, right? That's the first thing, right? So we got to get that out there. That's subjective. And also, me personally, a review is only a template from a person I respect. I don't go to people I don't respect or outlets I don't really respect to get my, you know, opinion of a game. You know what I'm saying? So people have to keep that in mind too. So if someone likes it, you know what I'm saying, get a bigger aggregate of sources and then make your own determination, or go to someone that likes the genre you like, that you may have a better connection with based on your gameplay habits. But anyway, long story short. So with this, you know, the only thing that I read that made my eyebrow raise was like, okay, you know, we've got these bugs, but it's, you know, it's a perfect score. You know? And I'm like, okay, you know, say whatever. So as the week goes on, you know, I'm starting to see footage of like current
Roblox.
I'm starting to see footage of like current gen. And you know, base Xbox, base PlayStation 4. And I'm like, oh man, this is looking kind of spooky or something. You know, so I'm just like, okay, you know, and part of me says, well, maybe this is why, you know, the PC, you know, reviews went out, copies went out for review, and we didn't get any console reviews kind of thing. So look, at the end of the day, this is what I feel about the situation. Is there a bit of fraudulence? Absolutely, right? But I think what it is in this climate, developers are so scared to put their stuff out to the masses, because I believe even Last of Us did something like this, where it's just like, you can only talk about this only up until this point, can't talk about anything else, you know, kind of thing. So it's this very controlled environment. But I don't want to make excuses. At the end of the day, this game has been delayed multiple times, right? You know, it's a highly anticipated game, you know, and I forgot who it was. I think it was Fuzzy or Staggerilla. Like I'm over, and like, I'm in the tutorial. I'm still in the early stage because I want to like spec my guy, but you know, do all this really intense stuff. Now, obviously, I'm playing on Series X, and it looks decent, but I haven't gotten far enough to give a fair assessment on technical issues and stuff like that. So, okay, so somebody wants to talk. You can jump in.
No, I was gonna say I'm like right there with you on that.
Yeah. So it's just like, at the end of the day, I'm probably not the best candidate to say, yo, they lying, this game fire, or yo, I got so much to do. All I will say though is based on the current gen performance that looks bad.
Yes.
One makes me think, well, damn, maybe A, it should have been in the cooker longer, and B, maybe, oh man, like it's tough for me to say because I like CD Projekt Red, but it's just like, man, like the stuff that have y'all seen this stuff though? Like I just want to.
I've seen it.
Oh man, like this stuff is. Woo! People. I'm getting reports from people I trust say, "Yo, it crashed a bunch of times." I got people that say, "Yo, I am not playing it until the next gen patch comes out."
Same.
So yeah, I leave it to y'all. You guys probably got way more experience than me playing it, but it definitely looks spooky. And one would think just maybe they should have just bit the bullet again and just held on to this thing. So that's what I got right now.
And it really is a lose-lose situation for CD Projekt Red at this particular point in time, because like you said, is it a thing of being? I mean, can we say a little too ambitious? I mean, I hate to. I don't want to say that because look at who we're talking about, CD Projekt Red. So it's really tough to say.
It's tough. It's really tough, man.
Man. They work, and we got to understand. Look at the kind of climate they've been working in.
That's another thing too. Well. Yeah, because you got not only do we have COVID, right, and the unusual conditions. Look, we had Jason Ronald on Island Podcast, right? And I forgot. Like, this is the first console designed in a COVID area where you cannot be in the warehouse. Think about that, right? Just to get that system out, it really made me think like, yo, this is a different climate. And I'm not trying to make excuses. Everyone is going through that, but we can't act like it's not a real thing, right?
Yeah.
Then the second part of me where I struggle is just like you said, Blam, you said it very well. Like, maybe this game is just too ambitious for current gen. And maybe if the resources were just allocated towards PC and next gen, that maybe might not have stretched them thin. I'm not in that studio. I'm not a developer. But one would think, like, when you see what's going on, it clearly looked like it's not made to handle that situation just based on what I see. So I don't know, man. But from what there's people, shout out to Cat Daddy, the chat. I see him. He said underneath the book. That's what other people say. People saying, yo, that when you play it underneath that, like it is fire. It is such a polarizing title, man. It's such a polarizing.
It really is. It really is. And I didn't understand the whole like this shouldn't be as good as some other. I don't understand people start comparing it to other large games as well, but I don't know. I mean, we'll keep moving.
We'll keep going.
I don't want to go to the crumb side of things. We're gonna keep it cool over here. But let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Stag. Just get your opinion. Just on the reviews and kind of how the game reviewed with all of the bugs and issues and just and in light of what we expected from CD Projekt Red. Maybe some of us were a little bit too. I mean, they're a great studio, but we do got to understand. Sometimes we got to take things back, a couple steps or so, just to kind of get the perspective on how things really are. So, just where you at, Stag, on what you've seen so far from Cyberpunk 2077.
Gamers temper their expectations. What are you talking about?
That's my unrealistic ass.
Rationality and tempered expectations are like things that I don't associate with the gaming community anymore. If ever. Honestly, I've stayed away from a lot of it. I've seen of course I see the stuff on Twitter because we're all on Twitter here, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I've been avoiding the game because I have a collector's edition coming. GameStop's awesome with their incredibly slow shipping rates. So I'm not even going to play the game for a while. Like, I decided way before release that I wasn't going to be playing it.
I feel like you've said that before.
I'm 80 hours into Valhalla. I'm 50 hours into Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, and I still need to finish both of those. Mm-hmm. I have a bunch of other RPGs. I want to start Red Dead Redemption 2, all the PS4 stuff. Like, I might get to Cyberpunk this time next year, to be perfectly honest with you. Wow. I will be playing it next gen. With the patch. I might start it sooner than that. I'm being a little facetious, obviously, but I don't know. I don't let those things bother me, like everything you see, because look, they're gonna fix whatever's wrong, and with the climate we're living in right now, it's incredibly difficult to do fucking anything. I mean, look at Halo. It got pushed back. You know, is it going to be? I know we're getting to that later, so I'll just leave that alone right now. But man, I have some friends that are having a blast right now playing it, and like a lot of friends that are having a blast playing it. And then I have friends that I see their posts on Twitter that I'm like, calm the fuck down, Jesus Christ! Like how many games now get released like that aren't even like top tier studio CD Projekt Red caliber that just day one 40 gig patch, the 3 gig patches, everything's releasing with patches now. So, I mean, we should come to expect this even from the higher end studios. So I agree. Everyone's super excited and they want a fucking perfect game, which you're never gonna get. You want to have an amazing experience, but I mean, you can make it dingle dangle. So it's good to go, man.
Yeah. So my thing about the whole experience with the people now, some people like there's a right for some people to be upset or feel.
No, I'm not saying they don't have a right to be upset.
Oh no! I wasn't disagreeing with you at all on that point. What I'm saying is that I 100% agree with. Sometimes people are a little bit too. Sometimes I mean I wanted the game to come out, whenever it came out. Sometimes people are a little bit too. We lose sight of reality because think about where we're at. So we're asking for this game to be perfect, but a lot of us don't even have consoles we can turn on right now. So let's not put the carriage in front of the horse.
Hey, whoa!
So no, I mean, it is what it is. So if we got whole consoles being made that are coming out not with issues and things like that.
There's a lot of things fucked up right now, not just games and consoles. So
absolutely.
That's where we're at right now. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion. Get your opinion just on Cyberpunk 2077, the reviews, kind of where you at. Have you played the game, or are you just kind of holding off on it?
Oh, I've played it. All right. I don't want to go off into let's chew off everybody's ear. But so I have played it to the end of the tutorial. God, I pretty much got out of the tutorial, and I'm still, if I'm right, we just got out of the car. I saved it, and I'm gonna continue that tonight. But that being said, I actually ran into a bug that seems to be somewhat common in the tutorial, requiring me to go back probably, I want to say like 15 minutes and replay a certain segment of the game to actually get the game to reload it to get rid of the bug. And that was in the tutorial where they were trying to teach you how to tag an enemy. It wouldn't let me tag.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And the fun part is I have it on my capture card. I mean, walking around, I use 2 different controllers, a normal Xbox controller, and I thought that it was my controller, so I went and got an Elite 2, turned that on, still nothing. Finally figured out that it was probably more than likely the game, so I went and redid the tutorial mission before that, and when I redid the stealth mission, it actually allowed me to tag enemies. So with only having about an hour and a half of play, I'm already experiencing one bug that technically would not let me continue in the game. I actually had to reload a different part of the game to kind of get around it. But that being said, we could kind of see the articles that are coming out, especially with like the bonus thing going on with CD Projekt Red, especially their executives kind of, being like, okay, well, it's our fault. It's nice to see an executive actually own up and be like, all right, maybe it's our fault. But that being said, we also saw that article that said 8 million pre-orders. Cyberpunk's pre-orders paid for the game. It's basically the day one sales paid for the game.
That's ridiculous.
Everything after that is great, dude. From a product standpoint, like from what I do for a living, dude, I would be shaking your hand, jumping up and down. I mean, like we would be going out celebrating. That's for sure. And I mean, definitely, we could kind of see probably where you're in this situation where, the generation of game players that you promised that this game was going to come out on that generation of consoles. Well, that generation of consoles is slowly fading. And what do? You could probably see your pre-order numbers, and you have this giant debate of, well, if we release, we at least get our bonuses and stuff like that. And you're kind of put in a situation of, well, we just have to release the game to kind of, make face. But also, there is a part of me that does believe that we are now dealing with games that are so complex that sometimes just designing them in these closed environment situations isn't exactly isn't always possible. Sometimes you got to release these games out into the wild to see what happens. And we're talking about a very complex game. We've seen some of the funnier stuff that's occurred over the years with Bethesda and Fallout games and Skyrim and games of that nature. So sometimes, I just really do see sometimes you got to release it out into the wild to really see what could happen.
Yeah. Okay. And I once again, I talked about this before the game came out. I said this game is going to be extremely ambitious. I don't know. My anticipation. I can't say I saw the bugs and things like that coming, but I want to throw something to you real quick, Cog, before I go ahead and move on to Fuzz. So, in lieu what he just said about if you're sitting there as an executive, you're sitting in your office, you got pre-orders up on one screen, then you got that the game is in the state that it's currently in. Right. That has to create some type of dilemma as an executive. Like you said, do I release this game? So, in your opinion, do you think it came down to do we just put this game out, or how do you think that process went for them? And what would you have done in that particular situation? Would you just have waited, seeing those pre-orders, or does that pressure of the amount of pre-orders make you say, let's just put it out and we'll kind of absorb whatever happens after this?
Right. They're in a tough spot because the reality is, I'm going to say this game got delayed already 2 times prior. Right. Yep. So it's highly anticipated. Each time they gave a statement, it was for the reason, for the proper polish, for the proper experience and stuff like that. Now, if it's still not 100%, you know what I mean? Then there is a part of me that says, yo, just delay until it's ready. But but I think also the pressure was mounting, and then let's be real, it's holiday season. These corporations want to get this thing in before them quarters. You know what I mean? So when you look at those financial reports and that season, they can say, hey, it came out, and we can't act like that's not a factor here. The only thing I will give, which Centurion said was that I am happy that they are not basing the bonuses of this game on Metacritic, because at the end of the day, I have a problem with that, because to me, it's like this. I know Jason gets a lot of stuff. I get it. I don't agree with everything he says, you know what I'm saying? But I do feel his reporting as well. And when he put that out with that statement, there is a lot of pressure on that studio. This is highly anticipated. Like, the pressure on this game. This is CD Projekt Red. This is makers of The Witcher. This is a Cyberpunk game. The hype is almost to the point where it's like, could this game even could reach up to the level of hype that it was receiving?
Almost unrealistic. Yeah.
So you've got the hype aspect, you've got the community, everyone clamoring behind this game. You've got, damn near, you got John Wick, your man up in here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is big. You got Captain Breathtaking. You know what I'm saying? And then you got this storied franchise and this fever. So with the whole, we got to get it out. Let's try to get it out before the release. So at least I will say I am happy that even though they did bring it out, maybe it could have cooked a little bit more, that at least the employees now are still going to get that bonus system based on that work. Because to me, tying it directly to Metacritic, I have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these guys...
Name another industry that does that.
Exactly. Like, that is such a subjective thing. That's like, yo, you're going to get a bonus based on Johnny and this guy's opinion of the game. like that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So it's like, I'm if you hit 8 milli before the game, like, you made your bread before it dropped, somebody should be getting raises.
That's as much as that 8 million, like you said, that's probably, there's no other game doing, I don't know what Call of Duty did. I don't think Call of Duty did that. Hell, I don't even think Animal Crossing did that. I don't even think it's by far the biggest game to come out, say, the last 5 to 10 years.
If I can add on real quick, the one thing I love about what right now we're talking CD Projekt Red and the executives realize that they made a mistake, and they openly admitted this. And now it sets precedence for these other companies that have basically put their developers in a position of unobtainable goals.
Yes.
And now it's like, well, you're going to look like the a-hole who basically created unobtainable goals, or are you going to be that company that's like, okay, maybe we kind of pushed and overreached. You guys are still going to get your bonuses.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, I'm always going to be a little biased. I'm always going to be a little biased towards developers. I feel as gamers, sometimes we are a bit much. We don't know every aspect of what goes into the creation of a game, right? But if these guys are working as hard as they're working and around the clock to get this thing out, and I'm not saying it's perfect, but if you hit 8 milli, somebody need to get a bonus.
Absolutely.
That's just where that's a lot of bread. So I can't look at like
they need to put a plaque on the outside of the building for everybody to read,
bro. You know, exactly. Killer. Yo, it's true though. Like at the end of the day, so I'm so happy. Like I said, when that news came across my line, that they're changing that process. And like you said, Blam, if it was up to me, I would love the industry to follow suit, because I don't want to disrespect Metacritic and all these stuff. Cause I mean, I have a website myself, like we're on OpenCritic, you know, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I also feel these are just the opinions of certain people, right? That should not dictate your bonus. Like that should not dictate your hard work, your people slaving. That could be a factor, but that shouldn't be the only factor, is what I'm trying to say. Especially if the game is successful. Like that is where I'm at with it. So yeah, it's a touchy situation, but I agree. Centurion, I'm with you, bro. Like I hear where you're coming from.
All right, well, let's go ahead and throw this over to you then, Fuzz. Go ahead and get your opinion, and then we're going to go ahead and move on. But where you at with the Cyberpunk? I know you've played it. You've only made it to about as far as Kaga's made it to.
I'm taking my time through the tutorials and things like that. But CD Projekt Red was damned if they did and damned if they didn't type of thing. Like if we saw another yellow card on their timeline, I mean, the pitchforks would have been all the way over to their studio. So they knew if they delayed it, which they probably should have, but it would not have gone well. It wouldn't have. I mean, from the last delay, their stock price is going down. So can you imagine another delay? I mean, their executives would actually be looking for other jobs at that point if they did that. So I understand why they did it. It makes sense from a business standpoint, and it may rub a lot of gamers the wrong way. But if they hold true to their promise as far as fixing the game, hopefully that will make it up in our eyes. And then if they do some DLC, online component and stuff like that at no additional charge, they're already doing the next gen upgrades at no additional charge. I think they'll try to make good on the launch, but. Yeah, it sucks for the base console player base. I mean, yes, this game was promised on that hardware. Although we did see a Xbox One X version of the console come out. So that kind of probably should have told people that that's going to be like the minimum spec in that PS4 Pro type of thing. But even those boxes are having a little bit of a struggle. It's not a perfect 30 frames or anything like that on those. But grand scheme of things, I haven't noticed any bugs just yet. But like I said, I'm still early on my Series X. But it sucks for the base console base for them to have to wait to be able to play it in a normal 30 frames with reduced textures and reduced population and stuff like that. Just to get through the game type of deal.
Okay, so no, I 100% agree. And just to put a bow tie on this, and when I start thinking about this, first of all, I think they should get a pass right off the bat because of the quality of the studio that they are. So I'm giving them a pass just for their reputation, as well as let's not act like a lot of our favorite games didn't start out like this. I play a shit ton of Destiny, and I tell you, that first year of Destiny, it was like the Sahara Desert. It was not perfect.
Factual.
Same thing with a lot of these games we play nowadays. So I think if we're going to
Witcher kind of start off at this too.
I don't know if it started off this bad, but
I don't think it was this bad. But I know The Witcher was not the masterpiece that it is now when it first came out.
No, I agree. I mean, over time, but once again, like I said before, we've seen games have these horrible starts and been able to bounce back from it. So if anybody can, I do put my faith in CD Projekt Red that they'll get this thing worked out. Whether it takes 6 months, a year, I do have faith. There's plenty of content to play until then, so I am not losing any sleep over this ultimately. So, the only issue I had was, like you said, not being 100% truthful as far as releasing the copies for the PC first and then kind of hiding the rest, of the console and things like that. So I'm cool with that, but we'll keep it moving.
Hey,
here,
let's get a quick chuckle. I have faith they are going to get Cyberpunk to work on the older generation of consoles. They got The Witcher 3 to work on a Switch.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. If we're being factual, so let's go ahead and keep this thing moving, man. We're gonna keep it fun here today, keep it light. So next topic, man, we're gonna talk about Sony loading up on third parties, man. We've seen it. Not all of us like it, but once again, it is part of business. I look at it from that business perspective. I don't really take sides in that regards. I just think that you make a strategy and you follow that strategy, whatever works for you. This has worked for Sony, so why would you not continue to do it? So they've been loading up on third party deals. Project Althea, we heard Final Fantasy 16 are all exclusive to Sony. So I just want to talk about that a little bit. We've seen what Xbox has done reinvesting in their first party. Now we've seen Sony with numerous third party deals, timed or not, but they've seemed to be ramping that particular type of business up. So I'm going to start with you, Cog. As far as what do you think? You think these deals were in place prior to that Bethesda acquisition, and where you at as far as Sony loading up on these third party deals going forward? I mean, I give them a pass because generally I don't worry about Sony first party too much. Right. So to me, this is just something that they feel like they need to do just to have the variety of the games that their fan base enjoys. But go ahead, it's on you, bro. You take the floor.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, I'm old school, bro. So like for me, I come from that, I come from, that whole, if you want people to come to your platform, you try to, snatch exclusive content to make your platform more attractive and separate it from, the opposition. So I never really had a problem with it. The only time I've had issues, obviously, as a Destiny fan, when, it was like DLC that was like exclusive for like
months,
2 years. Yeah, like, all right, fam. Like, that part, I was just like, okay, you being a bit extra with that. And then, I'll be honest, despite, even though I know the game now probably is not looked at very strongly, but, with the Avengers and the Spider-Man character, and it was like, yo, fam, you ain't never getting Spider-Man. And I was like, all right, that's a bit, but a bit extra, you know what I'm saying? So, listen, it's who Sony is, and to their credit, they've been successful. They've been successful. Yeah. They put it this way, these companies only will do that if they could show the metrics and the numbers to prove that those deals work. They wouldn't do it if it doesn't work.
Yeah,
it's the same way people can cry about, we can complain about loot boxes, we can complain about microtransactions, but there's a reason why they're in place. They have data, they track these things, and gamers do it, and I saw people at the time with Marvel Avengers and Spider-Man say, hey, I was planning on getting that on the X, but Spidey, yo. You know what I'm saying? And then that pre-order switch. So, you see that kind of stuff. Now, as far as these games, yeah, I mean, Project Althea joint and the Final Fantasy, look, do what you got to do. I feel that coming into this gen, this is how I looked at it. Again, I know it's early. I know people are like, the PlayStation 5 games are outperforming right now, and that's fine. But overall, the thought process coming in was that Microsoft will make that right, and that eventually, when the dev kits and everything kind of mature and everything, that we'll start to see a separation. It's just my mindset. It's my opinion, right? So as it goes on, third party will tend to be superior on that platform. I feel it's genius by Sony to say, look, okay, you may have the better performing multi-plat, right? But we either have this exclusive content that you can only get here or this exclusive game, so that you gotta come here. Right. So I just feel it's competition. I have no real issue with it, and to me, it helps Microsoft because at the end of the day, I like when I saw that Bethesda move, I said, okay, this is what I'm talking about. Right now, you have to get people into Game Pass, into your ecosystem. Right. And, I know the jury's out. Like, is it officially exclusive? Is it not? I'm of the belief that if you spend that amount of money, what is it, 7.5 billion, whatever it was, to secure the ZeniMax deal with all those studios, to me, you are doing that to get people. Your main play is Game Pass and the ecosystem of Game Pass. So to me, that's a number one driver. You need content, and I think that's what this whole game plan is. So I mean, look, man, all fair and love of war. it is what it is. You know,
yeah,
it's gonna be blood. You know, it's gonna be blood in the street. You know, let's go.
I agree. And so shout out to Z Black for the $20 super chat. He said, "Destiny, where gamers go to die." And look, God ain't trying to hear that right now.
Hey, listen, bro. Let me get Z Black right quick. Let me get him. Let me get it. Let me get it right quick, bro.
Z Black, we squaring up.
Turn on that 60 frames on that Series X if y'all like, and then come holla at me and tell me if that's not one of the best, most phenomenal looking games in Game Pass on your Series X. And if you got the TV to do that 120 hertz of PvP, good lord. Woo, spectacular.
Shout out to Z Black. Appreciate that, though.
Salute Z Black, though.
Yeah, salute, man. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Stag. Just get your opinion, man. I know Stag is just. I know where you at. You just so neutral regarding all of this. You just buy games, play games. But I just want to get your opinion anyway, bro. Just to see, where you're at regarding that. Sony, picking up a lot of those third-party deals. It is very Sony. Like, this is not something that's uncommon. So, I don't know if you expected this or what.
I mean, Sony does what Sony does, right? Like dudes, like Lord just said. I mean, it drives competition. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it. I mean, I don't mind it when it's timed exclusives. I don't really like, the like the Marvel stuff, Avengers, where like, oh, well, if you buy it on Xbox, you don't get Spider-Man. I was kind of like, I don't like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Per se. But I mean, he summed it up really, really well. And I mean, like my whole thing is just that's what companies are gonna do. I mean, Sony's not the only one that does it. I mean, Microsoft's done it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think Nintendo really does it. They're just like, hey, we made this game. Come buy it for the next 20 years. Well, we have a sale. It's $2 off.
He ain't lying though.
Hey,
come
on,
true. That'd be that Nintendo. That'd be that discount Nintendo.
Hey, man, you better
Old
save
price
coins in your e-store.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm not a huge fan of the practice, but I understand it. And like you said, I buy games, I play games. Microtransactions don't even really bother me. So, I mean, like, I spent money on fucking Valhalla because I wanted the goddamn unicorn boat. You better fucking believe it. I was like, oh, another $20 for some coins? Sure, why not? But no, I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's not horrible for the industry. It drives competition. It's not the best thing in the world for consumers, in my opinion. It's really good for companies.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you want to play that game, you're going to go buy that system.
Exactly.
Facts.
And if you're stupid and you don't want to buy that system because you still want to play that game, well, then I guess that's on you, and you can just wait for it to come to PC in 6 years.
Facts.
So the one thing that I do before I let you finish here is you got to put yourself in a position to be able to win here, people. We can't take this victim role when we're not putting ourselves in position to play these games. You can't.
Go ahead.
No, not you. I'm just saying. I see a lot of that. You see people refusing to go out and purchase the other system, but complain about not being able to play the game. Put yourself in a position to be able to play the game, which means if you have to go buy a PlayStation, go do what you got to go do.
Yeah, but look at this, Black. What gamer really is going to restrict themselves from an experience they want to enjoy?
It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous idea.
Is the only ones, but and I also feel like this is definitely something Sony. We all know does it a lot, but I think it's something they do to fill the gaps between their first party games. Because, I mean, typically the third party games play better on the Xbox. I mean, I'm not trying to be a fanboy, but I mean, yeah. So they got to do some. I mean, granted, they sold a shit ton of consoles. You know what I mean? They do, and they sell, 20 million games to those 100 million users on their best games. So that always it's a little interesting to me. Like, you sell 100 million consoles, and your best game only sold like 30 million copies. That's weird. But might have been more than that, but it's still not like your whole base.
The whole base, right?
Yeah, your whole base is. I mean, the majority of their base is playing FIFA.
Facts. No, you're right. You're right. That part always bugs me. I'm sorry. Continue, Stan.
No, it's okay, man. I mean, shit, you're more knowledgeable than I am. So
no, you spitting balls, man. No, I'm with you, bro. Like I think it was one of those things
when
when
everybody sits there and wants to tout those fucking sales numbers and all that shit, and it's like, yo, it's a FIFA and a Pornhub box, okay?
Have great if we're looking at the data,
games, but they've got.
Wait a minute, you can do what with their PlayStation?
Hey, look,
we were talking about Cyberpunk pre-funk.
Yeah, no, we were.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm good, man. I'm good.
No, you good. You just said what I was gonna reiterating what I was gonna say. It's like, yeah, I remember when I started really deep diving the numbers, right? You start, you're speaking to the Matt Piscatellas, you're speaking to the Benji Sales, and you start deep diving, and it blew me away because if you would listen to the fanboys, right, and we're not going to say that exclusives don't have its role. Exclusives do. They draw their extra reason to come over to the platform. But like you said, when you see FIFA and Call of Duty and all these games, and you're like, these are what's really driving people to the system. You know what I mean? So it's an additive thing. But it's not the thing that a lot of console guys put their weight on. It's really the opposite. And it's just funny to see that when you actually look at the data.
Oh yeah, I would argue Fortnite has sold more consoles than any exclusive in the past 10 years. I would make that argument. I'd stand on that hill. I agree. I would argue that Fortnite, people have bought a PlayStation or an Xbox to play Fortnite more than they've bought it to play God of War.
We're talking about a game that literally started off as a flop. A Save the Earth campaign.
I remember that.
Nobody wanted to touch this thing, and then they go over and help PUBG kind of fix their thing, and they bring it back, and they kind of make some tweaks, make it a little bit more fun because basically PUBG became rinse and repeat, regretfully. Yeah. And we see how a game company literally built a game empire. Epic Games has their own store, and this was all fueled and funded by Fortnite.
Literally. Fortnite, you can make a book on how it's arguably one of the most influential titles. Yeah.
Dude, you know how there's movies out there for Steve Jobs, the dude who did Facebook? Guaranteed, more than likely, later on in life, I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a small film, indie film, or maybe even a big budget film on the guys who literally cooked up Fortnite.
I would 100% agree with that. So it's on you anyway, Centurion, where you're at on this as far as, the third party. And I mean, you can just kind of piggyback off of what you were just talking about right there. So.
Well, when I'm listening to you guys, sorry to jump in.
You good.
You good?
Like, I'm always that guy. I'm always like that spazzy dog in the corner, like pick me. Anyways, so when I listen to you guys talk, let's talk about the three constants. PlayStation and their third-party deals, Nintendo and keeping their games definitely up there in price, and also their sacred garden mentality. But with Xbox, it's always making sure that grass seed is stocked up for goalpost relocating. Why is everybody over here touting? Oh my God! We're gonna go off of IGN. When I say everybody, I'm not over here personally singling anybody out on Twitter. I'm talking gaming media. Ryan McCaffrey, IGN. Oh my God, the deal from Final Fantasy is absolutely amazing. And then all of a sudden, something comes out about Xbox having something with Apex 2. And now all of a sudden, people are like, well, it looks like Apex 2 is going to lose all their fans, this, that, and the other.
You mean Ark? Was it Ark 2?
I mean, sorry, I'm not Apex. Ark.
Really?
Sorry. Yeah, Ark 2 is it came out, it was tweeted. I don't know who she's associated with. But it says, hey, team, seeing some messages about the store to clarify. Ark 2 will be launching on PC and exclusively on Xbox. No panic.
Yeah, Aaron Greenberg tweeted out as well right after the announcement.
And now all of a sudden we got Xbox being attacked for having an exclusive game. And I'm just like, so why is it? Oh, and then I remember the thing on the whole chat. It was like, name another game that Xbox has that PlayStation has technically gone in and swooped up. And it's like, there is numerous games that PlayStation has gone in and swooped up. And let's talk about, everybody's always like, oh, exclusive content. What's the difference between Spider-Man and, Spider-Man and Master Chief? Difference is Spider-Man is an Avenger. He's an established entertainment character from a different form of entertainment. He was cooked up in comic books. He is not from video games. He was not created by a game developer. He was cooked up by Stan Lee, who drew him up before the internet was really even a thing, or video games were even a thing. So you can't really sit there and say that. And to put it into perspective, that's like saying, hey, we're going to have a Ghostbusters game, but Peter Venkman is exclusive to PlayStation. Hey, we're going to do a Power Rangers game, but the Red Ranger is exclusive to PlayStation. You understand how absurd that actually sounds.
Yeah.
And so that's where it's like, and that's where we have a game that's being marketed as an Avengers game, but one of the Avengers is exclusive to PlayStation. And we all know, come on, you'd have to be a fool to not see that coming, that Spider-Man was going to be exclusive to PlayStation. That is their ace in the hole. Yeah. They love, at this point, they need to go out and just have Spider-Man painted on the side of the Sony headquarters, because they are proud of the fact that they were in the right place at the right time to acquire the rights to that character. Back on the third-party deals, though, this is something like Stagger said. PlayStation uses third-party deals to soften the space between their first-party, games that come out. And we've seen in how we saw Microsoft go toe-to-toe with PlayStation and using the same tactics. It didn't work. So Microsoft pulled a Nintendo and they went and did their own thing. And now all of a sudden, I don't see what the big problem is. Why is Nintendo allowed to do their own thing, create their own ecosystem, their own fan base, their own way of doing things, and everybody accepts that? Right. But it's not okay for Xbox. It's always Xbox and PlayStation, Xbox and PlayStation. Right. Xbox is really trying to create that wedge of, if you want PlayStation, it's over there. We're Xbox. This is how we do things over here. And this is what we offer you in value for actually wanting to be part of the ecosystem over here.
Yeah, I always thought that argument was backwards anyway. You can't, like you said, it's just absurd. Why? So I'm sitting up here on the internet, I'm complaining about a PlayStation game or an Xbox game. I want it to be more like if I have an Xbox, I want this game to be more like a Sony game. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, let these companies be their own individual companies. Let these companies do different things. And I've always said, from a business standpoint, these companies do not function the same way. Right. They're not thinking about the same.
Oh, yeah. You can see it in their game development. Like, absolutely. Most PlayStation first-party studios, no offense, not to be a jerk, predictable. Over the shoulder, third-person perspective, push some boxes, climb some walls, stuff like that. So it's stuff like that. It's kind of like a predictable structure that Sony has worked with for a very long time, and it works. But we see with Xbox, they're all over the place. We got Obsidian cooking up Grounded and the Outer Worlds. We got the Coalition over here with Gears 5. We got 343 trying to do Halo. They're just all over the place.
I heard that shot was crazy. I heard it. No, I feel you, Centurion. I know. I 100% agree with you, brother. But let's go ahead, throw this over to Fuzz before we go ahead and move on to the next topic. So, Fuzz, where you at on these deals, man? I know we talked about this multiple times, man, on previous shows as well. But where you at, man?
Sony being Sony. Yeah, everybody's kind of hit it on the head as far as it's just something they normally do, and nobody really, especially in the gaming media, seems to really take issue with it. So it is what it is. It's a way to get more people into their ecosystem, but we'll see in about the next 6 to 8 months how people respond to Bethesda stuff. If air quotes, if it's console exclusive,
that's
see if that same energy is blase blah type of deals, like, oh well, it's they bought it, it's theirs type of thing. So I'm fine with it. I've never really been big on Final Fantasy, and for a while there, I thought the was it Project Athica or
I think it's Althea or Alita or something.
Yeah, I thought that was like a pre-title for Final Fantasy 16. So the fact that they got 2 from Square, it's like that's great. Hopefully that'll help make money for Square, considering how much they took a nosedive with the Avengers title.
Yeah, they lost a lot of money.
Yeah. That might have been one of those things where Phil should have probably thrown them a bag, but it is what it is. I'm not anxious on those titles. I'm as far as for something that's a PlayStation exclusive, that's technically a third party. The ones I'm more interested in are Ghostwire and Deathloop, the ones that are going to be, Xbox Game Studios. So those are the only real third parties that they have that are exclusive that I'm looking forward to playing, possibly on PlayStation or waiting that year or however long for it to be on Xbox. But it's a normal Sony move. It's not that surprising. What will be surprising is how Xbox responds if, that wall garden becomes everything Bethesda that you know and love, except for what's already out in the open, like, 76 or, well, not Skyrim, but as far as like their online aspect and stuff like that. Yeah. If everything else winds up being exclusive on Xbox, let's see if, the gaming media takes issue or
see the energy.
I'm telling you right now, Cog, David gonna need a U-Haul for all the needs he collected.
Oh yeah, he gonna go. Yeah, he gonna go.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait. If we see that, man, that's gonna be a day of reckoning. We're gonna see where a lot of people at. I'm checking everybody's temperature. So I need you to line up. Get this temperature check that day, all right?
I don't want to hear no crying. I don't want to hear nothing about, this is not fair. And I don't want to hear none of that, if that's the truth.
Exactly. If that is the case, now, once again, that's a big if, but if that is the case,
exactly,
it wouldn't be out of the realm. A lot of us are already leaning that way and think that that's what, you don't spend that type of money. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if I was Phil Spencer, I would put Square Enix in a position to where they had to write an apology letter. Because it's still to this day that it's still the only occurrence that any developer has ever come out and wrote an apology letter for an exclusive, and it was towards Rise of the Tomb Raider, 1 year exclusive on Xbox.
The sad reality is this: I'm not going to go down the media bias rabbit hole, but I know where you're going, Centurion. But I will say that I will admit that when it's the market leader, it's not. Again, just being a Destiny fan, no one cried for me when I was playing Destiny on Xbox. No one cried for me and said, "Yo," I was like, "Bro, I don't even have these exotics you have. I don't have these maps you have." And then when I think it was the Hawk Moon and some other guns, and it finally came, it was like a nuded version. I never experienced it in its original form. Right. So to me, it's like, I don't want to hear it. If this thing comes out and it's like, yo, these games outside of Deathloop and the original game, that were already signed to PlayStation before the ZeniMax deal, fine. But if they do come out and I see Starfield, PC, Xbox, and that's it, I really don't want to hear anything from the media or fanboys. If you are that invested in that game, go out and pick up the system. That's what I did. When Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, I'm a big fanboy. My PlayStation was on deck. So at the end of the day, that's just what it is. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Oh, absolutely.
Once the smoke clears, if this is what it is, I just got my popcorn ready because I want to see if people keep the same energy in reference to exclusives. Now that Microsoft, it's like bullying a kid. You bully the kid and say you don't got no games, then they go buy the whole building. I don't want to hear anything.
You don't get mad picking at that kid, and then he goes to the gym during the summer and bulks up and comes back next year and whoops your ass on the playground.
Exactly. I don't want to hear it, man. You know what I'm saying? So he got mad and he bought the building. So we'll see.
All right. Well, this thing moving, man. Good topic, man. Once again, shout out to everybody watching this live. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. We're having a great time here on the Shop Podcast. Run up those likes, retweet the link, let everybody know we're here live. So let's go ahead and move on. So we talk a little bit of Halo Infinite. We got some juicy stuff from Halo Infinite. Some new screenshots, a lot of new stuff. Some information, not a ton. Obviously, they're just kind of giving us things. They're drip feeding us, just trying to keep us in the loop, just enough so people don't complain too much about where Halo Infinite is at. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. Did you guys see the screenshots? I mean, did you see the glow up? What's going on? So we're gonna start with you, Cog. Where you at when you saw the screenshots? Saw some of the information that came out that they gave us. I mean, I don't know if you were ultra optimistic after the last one in Halo, but where did this put you? This information, those screenshots, did it change where you were at already?
Look, we all know the story, with Halo Infinite and how it disappointed, at the thing. At this point, we know Statton's in, right? Classic Bungie vet. Been with the franchise so long. Me being a Destiny fan, I am very appreciative of blog updates. Like the best thing you can do with me is tell me what's going on. Right.
Yeah.
When I don't know what's going on, then we're gonna have a problem. Now, everybody know that the game, look, I said it ad nauseum. When I saw the game as a classic Halo CE guy, I felt nostalgia, right? When I saw the initial showing, right? That people are ripping with Craig and stuff. I get it. But for me, I'm like, okay, they go into the roots. That's an artistic style choice. Now, yes, did I see the pop in? Did we see Craig's face? Yes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to ignore that. But from what the gameplay was, I was okay. You know what I'm saying? Now, they got the backlash. I get it. Now it's time to see what they're going to do. Now, as far as this particular blog, the first thing I liked was, one, we're getting that release date finalized, right?
Yeah.
I like 2021. I like fall. I was hoping it was fall because my thing is, let's like the Cyberpunk, take as much time as you need to cook. Take as much time as you need.
Yeah.
This game is too important for you to just say it has to be out for spring or whatever it is. If you need more time, if you get more comfortable with the tech as far as the Series X and everything else. And then we do know, right, that initially it's been coming out that these dev kicks went to the devs around June, right? Mm-hmm. So if that was Halo shown on that, right, that gives me hope. Like, okay, now they'll have, more mature kits. They'll have more time under their belt with the system. They do recognize that the fan base does not like the graphical fidelity. You got more time to cook up on that. So that to me is exciting. Now, as far as the screenshots, yeah, they look good. They look good. I like what I was seeing. I like the focus on, them talking about the art style and stuff like that, the customization and the mentality behind the choices and stuff like that. A lot of the maps and indoor spaces look good. Now, I will say this, Blam. That's nice that it's still shot.
Yeah, we got to see it.
Gotta see it moving. Gotta see it moving. You know what I'm saying? I like that it, your still shot look fire. But until I see that moving, then I will put you all the way to clear. But all in all, jokes aside, I like the transparency. I like that Statton's getting in front of them. And I'm hoping for the best, man. I'm pulling for Halo, man. I really want this thing to do well. It's an important franchise. And I always tell people, like, could you imagine if this thing was ready at its best possible form at the launch, how transformative that would have been for Series X at that time.
Man, that's another thing that I don't think people realize. This we just in amongst all the chaos and release date changes and everything going on, the VGAs, we figured this game was supposed to come out with the Series X. So like that kind of gets lost in the sauce. That's a huge impact to that launch because you see it like a lot of things are kind of happening because the game didn't come out. Like
exactly
pushes, things like that. It's an awkward situation.
Yeah, you open up the Series X and right on the back of the box is Halo Infinite. So you could tell this was prepared to be there at launch. So look, I actually, like I said, I'm a fan of fall 2021. Give it time, man. Take as much time as you need. Let's get the best representation as Halo we can get.
Absolutely. So I agree with that. So let's go ahead and Stag. I already know where you at on this. I'm already preaching to the choir. But yeah, let's go ahead and get your opinion, Stag.
I don't like Halo, so I'm not going to play
get
it.
the fuck out of here.
He off the cast. He off the cast. Damn.
Everybody knows.
They got Stag off the shop already. Damn.
Everybody knows that's not true. Man, like, dude, when I saw what they showed, I was like, hell yeah, just like Lord just said, man, it looks like CE. I loved CE. I loved Halo 2. I love that. That shit's God. Place in my heart, man. That's what brought me to Xbox was Halo CE, for fuck's sake. I've said it before on the podcast and other places. I was super against Microsoft entering the gaming field. I avoided the fucking console. A friend of mine was selling one for $90 with like 5 or 6 games and it had Halo, and I played it, and we're still here 15 years later on gold. But I've had the original Xbox as well. But man, I just hope Craig's in the game. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm not even kidding around here, you guys. I hope he's a fucking something you can have a multiplayer, like a helmet or some shit. I'm not even lying.
I think they're gonna do it. They're embracing it.
They've embraced it way too much not to. I mean, so I'm a little bit of a fraud. I didn't look at the stuff till just now. The pictures look great. I didn't read anything because I mean, like, I don't. Man, like I don't get all up in the news every week
Yeah, I
about
know how
gaming
you are.
stuff. Like
I
I
know how you
don't, I don't do that. Like I do a little bit, but to me, I feel like a lot of that's always a much to do about nothing because until we get the game, it don't really fucking matter to me. Like it's great. It's nice to get that information. I know people like, Lord just said he loves those blog updates. People love these updates. I'm just like, put the fucking game in my hand. I don't give a shit. Like it's exciting to see the stuff. Don't get me wrong, it's exciting. I like seeing the stuff. Like I mean, I didn't even watch the Game Awards. The one thing I went back and watched from the Game Awards was that Mass Effect trailer because that interested me. So like when they put out information and then I hear all you guys in the Twitter streets talking about it, I'll go look at it, but I don't actively seek that stuff out. I'm just waiting for the game. And I am fine waiting. Like, I mean, like we said earlier, I got enough games, man.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
and I will be playing the shit out of it when it comes out. And I mean, I've played all of them: ODST, Reach, 1 through 5, fucking the goddamn top-down shooters. They got the little arcade games. Fucking dude, I've played it all. I got Halo Monopoly for Christ's sake. So yeah, and I mean I've played all the campaigns multiple times through on all the difficulties, gone for skulls, and I haven't done Laszlo because fuck that shit. Did it once with a friend. Man, that was like the worst time of my life, I swear, in video gaming. But no, like just man, I can't wait. That's my whole thing. Like I can wait for them to get the game right though. And it'll probably still have something wrong with it. Because every game does now. I mean, day one, I just don't feel like you can ever 100% plan for what's going to happen when the game launches. When you put that out in the ecosystem and it gets on 100,000 billion consoles, I know it's not that many, but you get that many people playing on a network. You tax the systems and the games that much. You can only beta and play test things so much until you put it out there and you actually give it to everyone and people fucking fine tooth comb it and find everything wrong with it. It's, that's why you have updates. So,
yeah.
But I look forward to it, man. Like, I love Halo. I love the lore, the universe. I mean, I've got books, encyclopedias, art books. Like, just give me more Halo. I'm cool.
I want to bounce something off you real quick, Cog, before we move on to Centurion and get your opinion. So we asked this question probably a couple shows ago, maybe 3 or 4 shows ago, about is this the most important Halo? That's a different question.
Yes.
That's a different question. And I love the fact that I can ask you this question and get a live answer. So I'm super excited about what you're going to say. But do you, because a lot of people are looking at this like this is 343's kind of make or break. Now, I'm not of the mind that it's make or break for Halo, but it is in a precarious position.
Yeah.
I would say that. Now, whether that's good or bad, I guess that's an individual, that's objective, like you said.
Right.
But it is in a precarious position. But would you agree that this is the most important Halo?
Yeah, this is because again, are we going to say all the games under 343 were terrible? I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say that there's been some inconsistencies. I would say the majority would feel that Halo 5's single player wasn't the strongest, and the multiplayer was amazing. And a majority of fans would feel that Halo 4's single player was amazing, but their multiplayer wasn't that great. And for me, my biggest thing with them has always been, it's taking me a while to forgive them, but my biggest thing with them is Master Chief Collection. Because even though it is what it is now, and we are to this point where it's at, I'll never forget around the launch of the Xbox One, how much damage that game did to the brand, because it was severely broken. It was to the point, I could not play that game. And then, patch after patch, and it would work. It was such an ambitious thing. And here's the thing, I feel for them on one side, because the way I always tell people is like, Halo's really not their child. They're the adopted parent, right? They came in, but at the same time, it's like, yo, bro, you got 5, 6, whatever years. Like now you've had the franchise as long as Bungie now, right? So now I kind of got to look at you like, all right, you know, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I don't want to get disrespectful. I don't want to, you know, say get too crazy.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is that this is how I look at it. I can only judge you by your body of work. This is how I'm going to look at you. And a lot of it is uneven, right? So this is now Halo as a franchise is probably still revered, but I wouldn't say it's probably as dominant as it was in the 2 and the Halo 3 days, right? So now it's important for you to knock it out the park so that you get people back into this amazing ecosystem. You get people back into this great game that is beloved. And it just, we can't have any mess ups. We can't have any slips on the banana peels. You know what I mean? That's how serious it is to me. So the way I look at it, if Infinite, I'm not putting no negative energy in it, but let's just say if Infinite,
you better be careful, guys.
If Infinite come out, looking spooky. If it's looking spooky, Blam, I don't know if the powers that be should be where they at. I'm gonna keep it real. Like, listen, if you go to a job, right? And we gotta rate you on your performance, right? If same thing with taking a test or going to college, like if you giving me 65s and 75, like you just getting by with a beloved story franchise, then maybe some of everybody need to take a look at it instead of you. that's where I'm at with it. We got a whole bunch of studios now. We got Playground, we got Bethesda, we got all these great studios that, you know, have experience, you know, in machine games, you know, bruh. We got people that like it's not to the point now where it's like, and again, I don't want to be I really don't want to be disrespectful for the 343. Yeah. I'm not a developer. I don't know what's going on in there. I can only go by the body of the work, right? Yeah. So right now they have had the franchise longer than Bungie, right? That's just the facts now. Yeah. At some point, you've got to lock in and make this thing your own and make a complete game. And that's another thing. That's the last point I'll say. I'm not of the mindset of, I've been hearing rumors like, oh, well, we'll release the multiplayer first. We'll release the single player here. No. Give me the complete package, please. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Zeke, I see you riding harder. You hard body karate. I feel you. You know what I'm saying? He's like, it's the best. Selling is one thing, but is Halo 5 known or revered as one of the best Halo games overall? You know what I'm saying? That's all we got. We got to be real with ourselves. That's all we said. So again, it's not that the game is horrible, but to the standard of a Halo, this is a pillar friend. Like Stag just told you, he got into the ecosystem because of game. Same with me. Like I got in. I was like, why is Microsoft making systems for? I just do them for Windows. Like, why are they? Yeah, like, why are you in video? I was like mad at first when I heard about them. Then I got that Halo. We did change my life. That game means so much to me. I want it at the highest level. All I'm saying is, it is important, and it needs to be super good. It needs to perform super well. So take your time, knock it out. If they do it, hey, all forgiven. If they don't,
yeah, okay.
Gotta go to the principal's office. You gotta sit in Phil's office, man. We gotta reevaluate.
Halo.
Yeah, go ahead, Zach. Sorry.
Yes,
I mean, if Initiative does like amazing things with Perfect Dark, let's see what they can do with Halo.
That's another idea. I mean, I don't. So I on one my part of me like.
I'm not excited about Perfect Dark, mind you, but I mean that's just.
I'm not. That's a whole nother.
A lot of black, but.
But so part of me likes that idea, but a part of me feels like a game like Halo, it's such a like iconic games don't get passed around to different studios to be made. I mean, Call of Duty does. That's a multi-plat, but Call of Duty has a formula. It's kind of known for being made by different. You know, you have different branches of the tree essentially on Call of Duty. Halo
Call of Duty is like the Madden of shooters. What are you talking about?
It literally is. So, but a game I just don't feel like you don't let too many hands touch Halo. Like that's like
how many times you let one hand disappoint everybody.
Thank you.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, like, I'm not disappointed. But, you know,
I'm gonna put it this way, Blam. I'm sorry, not to cut you. I just gotta ask Blam this one question.
Yeah, go for it.
And shout out to all, I see y'all in the chat. Shout out to Zig. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying? I see y'all, you know what I'm saying, riding it down. Shizdo for it. And I get it, you know what I'm saying? But my question to y'all is this. Let me pose a question. What will it take for you guys to say, all right, well, maybe 343 ain't it? Like, when do you get concerned for 343?
Oh man, that's if it so. Come on. So for me, so to be fair, I'm already kind of at that point. So,
Okay.
So I'm with you on that because, like I said before, Halo is a highly revered. To me, it's on the Mount Everest of video.
Yes.
There's only 4 faces. To me, Master Chief is on that Mount Everest. So to me, it's that highly regarded. And yes, I do understand it has not been in a place that it should be. As far as regarding and as far as people looking at Halo, because Halo to me should always be, essentially like that should be we're looking at this to see what's next in game.
Right.
Like what's next. Like we're jumping on that wave. Like Halo needs to be that game. Like and that's what it always was. From like you said 1 through 3 essentially. I guess you could throw Reach in there because a lot of people do really really like Reach, but Halo's always been that. It's never been one of those games kind of, and I think that's kind of where it went wrong. Once 343, they started adding Call of Duty elements and doing some different things with loadout, things like that. Didn't rub people the right way. But I agree. I don't think it needs to get to the point to where, I hope it doesn't ever get to that point to where we're all looking at each other and it becomes obvious that it needs to be passed.
Right.
I hope it never gets to that point, to be 100% honest with you, because have we ever?
Attic in the chat.
Yeah. Look. Yeah. Come on. I don't. That's a. I should just. I'm gonna erase that Attic. How do I erase that?
How do I erase that? Attic in the chat.
I don't want that kind of energy. I love you, Attic, but no, it's something that I can't even fathom, Todd. I can't.
I feel it. Listen, I'm keeping hope alive too, brother. Trust me, I'm pulling for them. They got Staten in the building. They taking their time. I'm pulling for them. But if it don't hit, we gotta look at job security and certain people.
Yeah, no, you're right.
No lying.
There's already been some shakeup, so we understand that. Maybe there's already been some things that Phil saw. He's like, this ain't really where we need to be at.
Actually, that's how I look. Because if you bring in a guy like Staten, right? You are clearly sending a message that there is some dysfunction in this studio and we need to change something and get back to something. Yeah. Right? You don't bring in a guy like this and no disrespect to Chris Lee. I don't know him. But he had replaced someone prior to him. Yeah. Right. So clearly we have to admit, 343 fans, there is some form of dysfunction. Because if things are going well, you just don't make these levels of switch ups, especially this late in the game. So to me, that looks like either Daddy Phil or someone oversaid, okay, hold on, what's going on here? You know what I mean? It's like now they're being paid attention to. That's the vibe I got. You know what I'm saying? It's like the principle, okay, who's acting up? Okay, what do we need? Okay, let's fix it and let's go. So now this is to me, it's a very course correcting kind of a thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't do that type of stuff this late in the game. So we'll see. And
I believe I was on you, Centurion. I didn't get to you on this one. So let's go ahead, man. What you got to say about the new Halo Infinite information? Where you at just going forward? I know you're big Halo fan as well. So where you at,
man? So where do I begin? I've been sitting here and listening.
He's ready. He's like,
he's ready.
Right, I know. When it comes to the situation with 343, I can't sit there and say a whole studio of people are not capable of handling one game. Obviously, it's more of a leadership thing. I have always had this inkling, this idea that we got to remember 343 has been around since before the Donnie D era. They, in my opinion, they still probably have some of the original troublemakers over there from that era kind of kicking it around, and they've been coasting by, and they see all these big moves that Phil Spencer has made, and I think it just finally bit him in the ass. Now we're seeing, all of a sudden everybody's got their eyes focused on 343, and we're seeing they're making some big changes. Excuse me. And that comes to obviously now we have somebody in charge of the campaign and somebody in charge of the multiplayer. Now, call me out on this if I'm wrong, burn me at the stake, whatever you want to call it. Cognito, really, I'm curious on if I was in charge of this project, because I know people want something, and I think it would be really fun to do. As we see what's going on with Monster Energy, come on. Taco Bell was supposed to help push Halo Infinite. Yep. Monster Energy was supposed to help push Halo Infinite. Actually, as a matter of fact, you have to actually bank the codes for the Halo Infinite cans to be able to use them for when Halo Infinite comes out. Now, interestingly enough, when you dig into the Monster Energy side of things, they say this game is going to come out 2021. And for some reason, they're talking about how you need to use, at least in the fine print right now, it says you need to use all these codes before the end of February. Now, I've always had this idea, this weird tinfoil hat thing of, I really see, at least what I would do anyways, Halo Infinite doing a multiplayer beta just before E3 time, time when all these digital events start popping up, or maybe even announce the beta at that event. Start cooking the hype. Get people playing Halo. Get people playing with these armor modifications. Yes. We all see in this article for that was just put out, most of the stuff is towards multiplayer. The arena, like you see them showing the different characters and the armors that they're creating. They showed a little bit of the arena, the multiplayer map that they were creating, and yeah, that nostalgia is there. I mean, you see a rocket launcher that looks like what a rocket launcher should look like in Halo Infinite, but you still see the inspiration from the very first Halo game in that rocket launcher. You also see that inspiration in the map design that they showed. Like I mean, though you see it, like the high up structures, basically designing the map to get you to start jumping around again. I remember those old Halo matches where you would basically not only have to just look for people on the floor. It's not like Call of Duty corridor shooter. You actually have to worry about dudes actually getting up high and jumping and sailing over you and getting behind you without you even noticing. So definitely it's good to see that they're returning to form in that and really cook some hype by doing, maybe that's where the media is really trying to twist this whole, they're going to release the game in 2 parts. I really hope that they're going to release the game in a big multiplayer beta that's actually going to go on a little bit longer than what we normally saw out of like a Gears beta. And they're going to get the hype going. And I really feel that's where you're going to see them towards the end, really get ready to launch the game. And we'll probably see it holiday time.
Yeah, I agree. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Fuzz. Just get your opinion, man, before we wrap this thing up on, Halo 5, Halo Infinite, the information that we recently got.
It was good to see as far as an update, so that way we kind of know where everything is, and having like at least a more narrowed down release date time frame. That was great. Kind of keep everybody informed, or at least engaged as far as all the feedback that they've received, and acknowledging all that feedback and things was pretty cool. The stills, awesome looking stills. Like Cog said earlier, it'll definitely sink in a little bit more if you see these in motion. It was nice to at least see a lot of the different like some of the armor sets, just to kind of give them an idea of what the overall texture detail and things like that will look like. And it was interesting. I don't know if you looked at all the small print. I don't know if other games are going to affect codings, because it was something about Watch Dogs. So I don't know if you have like a Watch Dogs code to put in the game or something along those lines. I know they had stuff for different snacks and like chips and stuff. Like if you get a bag of chips, it's like, oh, this code will get you this type of coding and all that, which they'll probably have to go into a little bit more detail a little bit later on. But it at least kind of quiets down some of the doubt, or some of the, I guess the sad feelings from it not being ready at launch, and how much of from a marketing standpoint that was kind of like a letdown type of deal. But in the grand scheme of things, it's especially after looking at Cyberpunk, not that Cyberpunk is miserable in any fashion. I mean, I know on next gen consoles it's playing a good bit better than I guess you could say the previous gen consoles, but giving it the extra time to cook, giving it extra time to polish it, to make sure that, with it being a cross-gen title, that we don't have some of the issues that Cyberpunk is having. It's probably in a better state to at least say, what was it, fall of 2021. So I think that hopefully, despite the C19 situation we still have ongoing, hopefully that will be ample time to give them what they need to be able to get everything going. But it was good to see. It was good to at least hear something, because I'm not the conspiracy theorist. I always talk about when like leadership leaves, although it's kind of funny with the BioWare thing, even though it appears on surface like it's on good terms. We've seen some things like that at Rockstar, and we still don't see a Grand Theft Auto 6. But yeah, whenever there's turnover and things like that, or there's new leadership and stuff, it gets a little scary to some extent. And it's good that he was able to make the blog post, give everybody the background as far as with him being involved with the Bungie end of things prior. So it seems like everything is in good hands, and they're giving it the proper breathing room to be the tentpole title that it is for next year, or for late 2021.
I agree. I 100% agree. I 100% agree with that, man. Ultimately, I think at the end of the day, all of us here on this panel, we just said it that we're Halo fans. So we just want to see a complete game, like Cog said. I would think all of us would agree with that. A game in the best possible shape as it possibly can be at that particular point in time. So we'll just have to wait and see. So I'm once again giving them the benefit of the doubt, because I'm such a big Halo fan. I actually don't know how not to do that. Like, there's no other option for me. This game is gonna be great, irregardless. In my opinion, I'm just that blinded because I'm so big of a Halo fan. But either way, once again, man, I appreciate everybody here. We're gonna go ahead and actually wrap this thing up. The show was amazing. The chat was live. Appreciate our guests here, and I'm gonna go ahead and get around to everybody. But I just want to say, chat, you guys, every single week you come, you show up, you show out, and you guys show us great support, man. So shout out to everybody who did come out. If you weren't in the chat, I appreciate you anyway, just for watching, dropping the likes on videos, things like that, retweeting, the chat, everything. You guys are amazing. But I will start with my guest, man. Before you say anything, Kyle, I listen, bro. I speak very highly of you. Anybody that I ever talk to you about, I always speak very highly, because, and I'm gonna say it on the show, I don't give a shit. Is you one of the very few guys I look up to.
Thank you,
brother. As far as content, as far as really, just content creation, and just as a gamer in general, doing things the right way. So once again, I appreciate you, bro. Just being a part of the show. You've always been a fan of the show. You've always supported me. When I had, 150 subscribers, you guys showed love. So shout out to everybody out there in the realm. But let everybody know where you at, where they can find you at, man, and what you guys are doing in the realm.
Bland, first of all, thank you for that, bro. That really meant a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because I think as content creators, we don't do enough to support each other. And I think that and I've had this conversation with you offline. There's a lot of politics that get played, I feel, with content creation and YouTube.
Yeah.
And, I'm just not one of those guys that, once I get to a certain level, I ain't coming on Blam Show. That's just not how I'm cut, because at the end of the day, there were people that helped me. And, at the end of the day, look, man, we got to help pull each other's out, especially if I like the content. And I'm a fan of the content. I love what you guys are doing. You got a balanced panel. Love hearing from everybody. Fuzzy, Stag, Centurion, the whole bit. You know what I mean? You guys really killing it. And I got to support stuff that I think is positive and is pushing the culture in the right direction. Everyone here is a gamer. We all got our, specific likes and dislikes, but we love gaming, and that's what it should be about first. So salute to you, salute to the shop, and I always appreciate the support. That really meant a lot to me, bro. Thank you for that.
Not a problem, man. It's the least I can do, bro, because like you said, we talk a lot outside of this, and you already know how I feel about you and everybody in the realm, and just how you're the glue, and it reflects on the success of your show and the success of the people around you. So that's what I look at. You know what I'm saying? I look at your backyard and I want to see what's going on.
Appreciate you, bro.
You got a lot going on in the backyard. And it's looking to keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm always going to be a big fan of yours and support what you guys doing in the realm for sure.
Thank you, brother. Much love. You already know, man. Lord Cognito on Twitter. Iron Lord Podcast tomorrow will be funny. Either Attic King or Saul go show out because we do this yearly Crown Your Lord selection. I know I lost. So basically what we do is we do the Game Awards and then we kind of do our prediction. And Addicts, he on you. He's like, when my invite.
Look, Addict. Look, you know what? It's COVID-19. Things are slow. I sent that, man. You check the mail. I sent it.
You put that energy out in the air.
But, Addict, man. No, for sure, Addict. Listen, it's long time overdue, brother. Listen. Just check your DM after the show. We'll talk,
and
man.
Try to get Solve out the house. We try to get Solve out the house. So please hit him up. We need him outside.
I gotta get David on here too.
Facts.
You know, I know David got a lot going on. He got to sort his knees out and things like that. A lot of time doing that. So, you know, I got to do that. You know, his knee audit. He got to audit his knees.
Real quick, man. But yeah, salute the Attic in the chat, showing love and stuff like that. But yeah, tomorrow, if you can, check it out. ILP Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern. We will be doing a recap. We'll kind of talk similar topics what you guys are talking about: Cyberpunk, Halo, Game Awards recap. Also, like I said, if you're into Destiny, you just got that, you got that Series X, you got your 60 frames, you want to know what's going on, please check out me and my brother Ebontis on The Last Word. We just had a phenomenal episode with Ascended Nomad. Again, just getting you up to speed. If you haven't played Destiny, you want to know what's going on, just two passionate guys talking about Destiny. And of course, if you're into those statues and all that good stuff, check out my brother King David KOS. Actually, Attic is helping him work on one right now. That is phenomenal. Fuzzy might know, because Fuzzy, I think, is my age bracket. So Fuzzy might know what this statue really means. It's a classic. So you go check that out. And yeah, man, Blam, man, much love, man. I always love coming through, man, as much as I can. I got to support, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Every single time. It's truly blessed to have you here on the show, man. And everybody, once again, shout out to everybody out there in the room, man. Love you guys so much to support everything you're doing. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Stag. Let everybody know what's cooking up, my dude, with the streams. And I know you're right there, bro. I know I saw your update. Was it like 1%? You were like right there to go.
That's just like ahead of my goal pace.
Ahead of your goal.
930,000 right now. I'm closing in on it tonight, actually. I'm trying to get ahead, but that's, meaningless numbers. It's just something to get it over with. But gamer score is meaningless. Trophies are meaningless. I enjoy them. Well, I enjoy gamer score. Trophies are it's always funny when I get a trophy when I'm playing PlayStation. I'm like, oh, look, I got a trophy. I make fun of it. I don't know why. They mean nothing to me on PlayStation. I'm there for the experience of the game most of the time. Yeah, I need to do that on Xbox too, but that noise when an achievement pops feeds my addictive personality like nothing else. It's like doing all the drugs, but man, yeah, streams have been popping lately, dude. Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. on what was it? Twitch? Yeah, Twitch. And running a bunch of, it's Christmas season. I always give a bunch of stuff away during Christmas. I've already sent a bunch of people shit. I'm giving I think I got a list of like 15 games I'm giving away in stream throughout the month, and I'm giving away Cyberpunk and Assassin's Creed Valhalla at the end of the month. So if you want to win yourself a free game, come check out the stream sometime. It's a lot of fun. Working on some new things for the stream, like trivia, and we played Who Wants to Be a Millionaire the other day, and it was hilariously fun. So
nice. Yeah, go check out Stag, man. He does a lot as far as the streaming goes. Always supporting charities, things like that. So pop in on them.
We're going to do one for Occupause pretty soon. One of my mods is actually, he takes puppies and he trains them for like 8 months, and then he gives them their guide dogs for the blind.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
We're gonna do a charity. We're in the early stages of talking about it. He's been bugging me for about a year to do it. I just did one for St. Jude, so I was like, I just did a charity stream with a group of people, so it's kind of like we need to space it apart a little bit. But that's the next one I'm gonna do, is one for the guide dogs for the blind people and stuff. So yeah,
awesome, man. So once again, go check him out. Show some love and support, in the Twitch streams, things like that. He's sometimes he does giveaways, things like that, just fun stuff. Go support him regardless, man. He has fun, super engaging. So we appreciate you here on the Shop Podcast as well every single week, Stag. Appreciate you. And let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion. Let everybody know what's cooking up with you. I know you got some videos on the way. Let everybody know where they can find you at, G.
Well, for starters, just for a moment, because it is the holidays. I look at the YouTube community, Twitter community, everybody as a whole. If you've listened to my content, I kind of refer to it as the neighborhood. Like every great city, there's parts of that city that are a little bit rougher than others. You even got the crazies that stand out on the side of the road yelling for no reason. We all know which ones those are on Twitter. So like there's the community members or those who make the neighborhood really special. And, you know, outside of you, Blam, and obviously Fuzzy and Stagger, for you guys allowing me to obviously be part of the show over a year ago. And we've been doing this every night strong, and it's been really exciting to be here every Saturday night. One community member that always kind of put in, like, not to be cheesy, kind of basically kind of made a difference for me was Cognito. And that's why every experience I have with him, I'm just grateful to ever get kind of chat with him. Cause I mean, like, everybody gets to like, you know, experience the world of YouTube, but Cognito is one of these guys, if you understand the reference, can really teach someone how to fish. You know, it's kind of the idea of you can give someone a fish or you can teach them to fish. Yeah. And Cognito really helped me kind of push myself to be better than I was. I remember writing a couple articles for him for Lords of Gaming and him showing me how to work Yoast. And Yoast is a very hard person to please inside WordPress. And to basically have somebody to actually sit down and take the time to understand Google and SEO and all that stuff. I'm still to this day using the things Cognito showed me, and I'm still grateful to this day he showed me that stuff. So I can't thank him enough. And if anybody wants to listen to me and all the other cheesiness I spew out, be sure to join me on my YouTube channel, Twitter, even Xbox Live at Centurion1307. I also kick it here every Saturday night on the Shop Podcast with these great gentlemen. And I'm also over on the TXR Podcast with all the amazing gentlemen over there every Sunday night as well.
So shout out to everybody there. Shout out to everybody at TXR as well, man. So good group of gamers over there as well. So shout out to you guys. Last but not least, man, it's time to. Oh, so by the way, Cog, just to let you know, you can subscribe to Fuzzy's ASMR after the show.
Okay, let's go.
We got the OnlyFans.
What are we doing with the OnlyFans? When's the potato chip eating taking place? Exactly. I don't want to miss potato chip eating live. When does it take place?
We got that. We got he does voicemails. We got it everything.
Bro, we got a market Fuzzy, son. We gotta get the bag. Let's go, Fuzz.
Man. So go ahead, Fuzz, man.
I'm gonna let everybody down because I don't have anything prepared.
Dude, what happened to that thing where you said you were gonna do the reading of it was the night before Christmas?
No. One thing I do want to. In all jokes aside, one thing I do want to set aside.
He got wild, uncomfortable. I love it. Fuzzy after dark. Let's go.
One thing I forgot to mention is our old favorite week after week, thing that we like to do. And no, I can't believe we all forgot about it. But loading screens becoming a thing of the past. I guess we
did you
kind of
try
forget
it?
About Anthem. We forgot all about
it. In your house, did you test it?
Mm-hmm. Have you tested it? Has anybody tested it?
I haven't tested it yet.
I tested it. Those servers suck. No matter how great the console is, when you hit low, it's like sending request to server.
Oh my
goodness. All right, back on the rails.
It does load pretty quickly. I will say it loads quickly, but definitely it's like, requesting server. Oh, this should be great.
Yikes. So, but back on the rails. Oh man, it was awesome being on the show here with Cog again tonight, and always a pleasure doing the Shop Podcast with the crew and having Cog on here. It's always awesome. I just, for the most part, I'm just a older casual gamer on Twitter, and every now and then I'll spew my opinion about racing games and other games. So if you want to follow me, I'm on Twitter at Fuzzy_Belvedere, PSN at Fuzzy_Belvedere, probably playing, Gran Turismo. or even Miles Morales as more recent, if I'm not trying to brick my console from sleep mode and putting the external drive on it. Oh, by the way, if you do that to your PS5 and you get that panic moment where it won't cut back on, just unplug it for a minute and everything will go back to normal after it kind of does some sort of reset. But all that aside, on Xbox Live, you can find me at Fuzzy Space Belvedere. Probably trying to play a little bit more Cyberpunk. Definitely want to check out Destiny 2 as far as this new next-gen update.
It's time.
Or playing Forza with now them even having the Cyberpunk car in there, as well as the new, what was it, the Ultimate 7 or some sort of Fantastic 7 setup that they have where you can kind of make your own tracks and challenges and things like that. So me being a big racing fan, the fact that you can kind of make your own like Gymkhana track. I mean, you kind of make that before, but now you have all the props to do that as far as like half pikes and things like that. It's definitely worth checking out if you haven't touched that in a while. But awesome show, guys. Always a pleasure being on here with you guys talking games.
Man, and last but not least, your boy PTK Blam across the board, the host of the Shop Podcast. Man, I want to thank once again all my panel members here. Like I said, our special guest this week, the chat. First and foremost, you guys are amazing. Everybody showing out, showing love. Once again, if you want to hit me on Xbox Live, PTK Blam, first and last name on Twitter. All of that information is in the link in the description below. You guys are amazing. Once again, same time, same place. Next week, gotta have a new guest. But once again, Cog, appreciate you, man. Go once again. Do me a favor before I wrap everything up. Do me a favor. Go check out ILP. Everything they're doing, I made sure all that information is down their website. Everything's in the description. Please go support them, man. It's a great organization ran by a great game. So just do yourself a favor. Go check it out. But we're gonna wrap this thing up, man. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. We're out of here. Peace out. Have a good night. Be safe. Wash your hands, and we are out, man.